We started meeting with Gary Herbert, and we thought maybe we could name this building after him. And that takes a donation. It takes money to donate, and when you do that, sometimes, if it's enough, you get your name on a building. That being said, he didn't want that. His passion was not about putting his name up on a building. He was more concerned about the students and how to help you engage in politics, in the political process, in public policy. That's where he became really animated and passionate. And so then we knew this is what he could help us create here. We didn't have a public policy institute, and so we wanted that, and that's why it has his name on it. Now, speaking of the governor, he's supposed to be here. The fact is, just last weekend, his retina tore. When your retina tears, you go blind. Fortunately, it's an emergency surgery, and he had that earlier this week where they reattached it, and he was coming today. In fact, he was in the shower about 30 minutes ago, and his eye started bleeding. And instead of coming and talking to you, which he was going to crawl up the stairs because he was so committed to being here, I said, you can't come. Please do not. We need you to see out of both eyes. And so he sends his most sincere regrets for not being here. So instead of him, you're going to get to hear a little bit from me, and then we're going to open it up for questions. And I'm going to turn most of the questions over to the Herbert interns, who I have the privilege of working with. The last thing I wanted to share with you is a little bit about the vision or the purpose of the Herbert Institute. And there are really three things that we are focused on and want to do here at UVU. First is to develop future policy leaders. That's you. And I'm sounding very much like an old guy, but before you know it, you're going to be in the seat. You're going to be the ones running for governor, running for county office, city council, or just showing up at the ballot and voting. Whatever way you are engaging in our democracy, the Herbert Institute wants to promote that and help you do that. We want to develop future leaders by discussing current public policy issues, directing high-impact internships, and promoting that engagement, you being engaged in the political process. Second, we want to gather the community and especially our students in civic dialogue and conversations. The third is we build trust and enhance civic education in institutions that are the foundation of our democratic republic and the principles of the U.S. So with that, can we turn over questions? These are the students who are going to answer almost all of the questions. Kay, do you have a first question?
How do you guys like working in the Herbert Institute?
That's awesome.
Being able to work for the Herbert Institute has given me so many opportunities to network, meet new people, and work on projects that I probably would have never in my life seen myself working on. So it's just been a huge experience and allowed me to expand my knowledge on topics that a normal 21-year-old wouldn't go out and search for. So I think that's probably been one of my favorite things about working for the Institute.
Hi everyone, my name is Mike. I work here at the Herbert Institute. I guess my first exposure to the Herbert Institute was last fall. I applied to intern at the state legislature for this past legislative session. The number one thing that each student should know about the Herbert Institute is that you do not have to affiliate politically the same way with Governor Herbert. Even just the interns here at the Herbert Institute, McKay, he's back there, McKay, Cade, McKenna, and I, we see the world a lot differently. Ask us about one issue and you're going to get 4 different answers. This is an institute that's dedicated to diverse thought. And when we do that, we can come together to find the best solutions that the state is facing and that our country is facing. The most valuable thing that I've been able to take away from the Herbert Institute is an understanding of state issues, of local issues, what those are, and possible solutions for those issues.
I took this job 3 weeks ago, I think, as the new government internship manager. I specialize in the government internships in Washington, D.C. and at the state capitol. UVU sends the best classes of interns, and that's because we put more effort into prepping everyone, and we're a team, and we were each other's best friends on the Hill.
So you were legislative?
Yes, oh yeah, I was with them as well. When you hear internships, you think about getting coffee, you think about making copies. That's not it at all. The most incredible experience, probably even more so than some Senate or congressional internships do they trust you with. Talk to me, I'll help you through it. That's literally my job, is to help y'all succeed in government internships.
What do you guys think is the number one threat facing elections for their legitimacy or their security?
A couple of us here are split into 2 teams, one of them being the Elections Project. It's a very, very broad topic to go into and a very, very prominent issue nationwide. And as we've narrowed down our purview on what we want to go into, we're preparing a couple of different white papers that will be published by the Institute. One of them being on ranked choice voting, which is an emerging method of voting in Utah. That's the one I've been more involved with. The second being on election integrity and security, which McKay is kind of taking that lead on. So I'll let him.
As Michael said, I've been more involved on our next project, which will be about elections more broadly in Utah and whether or not they're secure. Spoiler alert, we don't believe that they were insecure. The one thing that I've been focusing on in my research is how do we make our processes more transparent? So how do we make it so people understand audits? The direction that I've been tentatively moving in at the moment has to do with mail-in ballots and how do we build trust that those are being cast, recorded, all of that properly. People aren't getting multiple ballots, that kind of issue. So our concern isn't so much finding flaws in the system because we don't have credible evidence to suggest that there are glaring issues. It's more about how do we show people what's actually going on and making sure they believe that things are safe and secure.
And McKay, that's not a conclusion we gave you, that's a conclusion, right? I mean, I'm just saying that I didn't tell McKay you need to write a paper about how secure elections is. We told McKay to go look at policy, laws in the last 5 to 10 years that the legislature's passed on election security in Utah and how, and they've spoken with mayors, city recorders, county, lieutenant governor's office. So they're out talking to people and getting and drawing their own conclusions.
How can students get involved right now on campus, politically or civically?
Not necessarily with the Herbert Institute, but just civically.
Both, yeah.
Both. Okay. All of you right now can join the Herbert Institute student organization, which is brand new. It's the newest group on campus that I'm aware of. I'm the president of that. McKenna is the VP of events. McKay is the VP of logistics, and I think that's all we got right now. Being a part of the student organization will, I think, open the door to a lot more opportunities with the Institute. One of them being internships. We have events that we need volunteers for so that we can host candidates and all sorts of people to come in and educate the student body with. And volunteering for those activities will give Justin an opportunity to meet you, give an opportunity for Eric to know who you are. So if you are looking to apply for internships, we kind of have an idea of who you are. That's my basic answer about being involved with the Herbert Institute. What do you guys think?
So when it comes to broader civic engagement, obviously there's the easy stuff. Voting is the obvious one, but then also if you find out there's a protest or demonstration for a cause you care about, get the information for it and show up. Write to your local representatives. When I worked at the legislature, a lot of our bills, we started them because we had a constituent come to us and be like, hey, this is an issue. So you never know what'll actually work out.
So I was just wondering what initiatives you guys are taking at UVU and beyond UVU to go and increase voter engagement?
We're going to partner with UVUSA to figure out the best way to get students engaged and registered to vote and things like that.
So we're doing a huge voting campaign in October, and we have a week specifically for it called My Voice Matters Week. And it's the same week as the Senate debate, but we're also doing an event called Campaign Her, where students can come and learn how to run an election if they ever want to run. We're doing some really cool things with Elect Women Utah with that event. And we're doing voter registration booths where you can volunteer to work the booth and help people register to vote. So that's kind of what we're working on right now, but look to October for some of those volunteer opportunities for voter registration. Should be really good. And we also do a huge flag display that'll be really fun as well.
Thank you so much for being here. It really means a great deal. We have pictures. We're going to share this with the governor. And again, he is looking forward to inviting you back to have some conversations about issues, and he'll tell you lots of good stories about people and things that he's been able to encounter over the 30 plus years he's done public and community service. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you, UVUSA, for letting us be part of this. And I think if that's okay, we're done for now. Thank you.